Stop recording button. Double tap to activate.
Let's finish it Friday. I'm stitching it my way. Just wanna be sitting with needles and knitting. Hello, my crafty and creative people, my yarn lovers. Yes, it is Finish It Friday. So you know what that means. Yeah, that's just show and tell in the crafting world. It's where I show you my projects, and because I am visually impaired, and I believe that knitting and crocheting is for everybody, including people who are visually impaired, I do my best to use my words and tell you about my project and describe it to you as well. So come on in, get your project, your knitting, your crochet, your embroidery. Sit down and say hello in the comment section. Let me know where you're watching from. Say hi. I'm from Wisconsin and I am crocheting a baby blanket. And of course, get your beverage. What's your beverage of choice? Well, I'm actually recording this in the morning and drinking coffee with you. Yeah, I know. I usually try to record my videos the night before. I did record a video the night before. And you know, if you listen to my channel, I have slow internet. It is not working. It does not like the video. So I'm going to try to make it a little shorter, hoping that will upload better. So we are in the morning. This video might be late coming out on Finish It Friday. So get your beverage. I got my coffee. You know what? It was 87 degrees here the other day. Yeah, that is warm for us in May. So you know what I did? I broke out the frozen hot chocolate. Have you ever bought frozen hot chocolate before? Okay, I know Serendipities makes a frozen hot chocolate, and I used to drink that all the time. And I haven't bought any for a long time, but I was on Amazon, you know that's where I shop. And I found some Ghirardelli's frozen hot chocolate mix. So I put like the big cup of coffee in the blender, right? Like the big 16-ounce cup of coffee. Put in a half a cup of the frozen hot chocolate mix, and then put in, like, it's not even an exact science, okay? Like 2 cups of ice or something. Put that in the blender, swirl it around, make myself a nice big chocolate coffee frappe. So good on those hot summer days. So I'm curious, do any of you like frozen hot chocolate in your coffee? And more importantly, do you think there's anything different in the mix about frozen hot chocolate versus regular hot chocolate? Meaning, are we getting scammed with the whole frozen hot chocolate concept? Like, could we be using regular hot chocolate mix, right? All year round hot chocolate mix in the blender with our coffee and our ice? Or are we somehow paying more for the label that says frozen hot chocolate? Is there anything different in the ingredients, in the manufacturing? I don't know. If you know, or if you've tried frozen hot chocolate with regular hot chocolate, let me know. Now, if you listen to my videos, you know I am legally blind. I'm not totally blind, but I am too blind to drive. And I live miles from a bus stop, so I rarely have fresh milk in my house. So I don't have any milk in my frozen hot chocolates. But I do have canned coconut milk in my house, and I cannot lie, I do love chocolate and coconut. So I'm totally thinking about putting a splash of that coconut milk in my frozen hot chocolate. What do you think? I'm kind of thinking yes, but it is fattening, right? Coconut milk is fattening. So I'm trying to resist, but as the summer goes on, I just might try it. And I will, of course, be sure and let you know if I give that a try. Okay, on to the project. Well, what I stitched up for you this week is a crochet bucket hat. So let's talk about this crochet bucket hat. Okay, this is from a YouTube tutorial. I did not design this myself. I do love to design myself, but I'm still fairly new to crochet. So I know it's really important for me to listen to other people's tutorials, right? So I learned my stitches, learned the construction. So I got this bucket hat off of a YouTube tutorial by Crochet with Claire. She's an excellent teacher. If you've ever listened to her, you'll know exactly who I'm talking about. She has that lovely Australian accent. Great teacher. I'm going to do my very best to link this up in the description box below so you too can make yourself a crochet. She calls it the spring Easter hat. Okay. So if you listen to my video on celebration of, I think, National Crafting Month of my crochet journey, my first crochet projects were dishcloths, and they were great first projects for me. But I did my dishcloth, and then I did like a wavy bobble stitch dishcloth, and I was okay. Woo! Girls gotta move on from dishcloths, right? But as much as I wanted to do a crochet blanket, I was like, I don't think I want to jump right into blankets. So I got on the Google, you know it, and started Googling crochet bucket hats. And the very first pattern I came up with, some of the first ones were the granny stitch hat. So that's what this other one is. This is like my basically first project beyond the dishcloth. Crochet granny stitch bucket hat. Love this. I just made this with my Lily's Sugar and Cream kitchen cotton. It's a great first time project. You're going to see both of these hats in the video because you know it. We're going to compare them. I've been saying I'm going to do a comparison video. So now Claire's was made in the Lily's Sugar and Cream. And I thought, you know what? Do I need another white crochet bucket hat in Lily's Sugar and Cream? Or should I take the opportunity to make this one in the Dishy, right? Because I want to compare the knit picks we crochet to the Dishy to the Lily's Sugar and Cream. So that is what I did. I went with the Dishy for this one. So we got one in each. We will be comparing them, but not in this video. So one thing that Claire said was that the pattern, I think the pattern that she did not write that pattern. She totally gives credit to the designer, says she has permission to work it. So I think she said that particular pattern used like maybe a 5.5 millimeter hook or even a 5. She found that just too big, and I totally agree. I tried to work it up in a 5, too big on the Dishy. I had to rip it out. It went to a 4.25, which is my G hook. I know G hooks can be a little confusing, right? Some G hooks are 4 millimeter, some are 4.25, some are 4.5. I don't know. Make it make sense. Mine is just a cheap aluminum 4.25 boy hook. That's what I used. I did that up. And that seemed to work much better. Now, one thing I did do, because you know, I just can't leave patterns alone. I gotta modify them, right? And I love a nice big brim on my hat. So I did jump up to the 5 milli for my brim, and I do like that a lot. So, but you do you. You want to do the same hook size, you try it on. You make a hat that works for you. You want to work it all up in a 5, you do you. Now, one of the cool things I liked about this pattern is that there's 2 sizes. This is the adult size, right? Because it's for me. And then there is a child size. So, you know, if you want to do like a mommy and me type hat deal, this is a great pattern for it. So, when I was first looking at the Google, right, going through my search results when I first started to want to make crochet bucket hats, this pattern from Claire showed up, but I was so new to crochet, I just didn't think that my skills were up to it yet. But it's been on my list, right, of things to make. So I'm glad I started with the granny stitch. The granny stitch is definitely an easier stitch and pattern for beginners, but I've been telling myself for months to go back and make this spring Easter hat with Claire. So when it showed up in my news feed again, my YouTube feed, I was like, ooh, you gotta make that. So you can do a child size, you can do an adult size. So once you get the crown, the size that you want, you just start doing these shells. Now this is a free YouTube tutorial, so I'm not giving away anybody's paid for work here. And then once you get that to the size that you want, she changes colors. So she gets to these half double crochets here between the bottom of the shells and the brim, and she does hers in pink. Now, if you want to change the color on yours, you do you. But for me, if you don't know yet, if you're new here, I am completely colorblind. I have been my whole life. And so for me, I thought if I put like a pink stripe or a blue stripe or a red stripe, that's going to make it more complicated for me when I need to match it and wear it. So I chose not to put a stripe in. And that way my hat is solid white. I can wear it with just about anything. But if you want to make a pink stripe on yours, you do you. You make it like hers. It will be beautiful, I am sure. I just felt for me that was going to simplify my life. Now she also put these beautiful little flowers. They're like a flower and a leaf. I think that they're pink and green. I don't know for sure. So if you want to add embellishments, bling, bubbles, crochet flowers, whatever to your hat, by all means, I say this is a great hat to bling it up on. Again, I opted not to because of the whole colorblind thing. I knew if I put a pink and green flower on there, I was going to have to worry. Is it clash with what I'm wearing? It's totally okay with me if I wear things that don't totally match. But, you know, I do worry about horribly clashing. So like I believe I'm wearing a red dress today, I think, right? So if I put a pink flower on there, I might not be able to wear them together. And I don't want to worry about that. So if you're blind or colorblind, hey, I recommend simplifying things. We don't always have to do everything exactly how everybody else does it on the internet, okay? And then the other thing that I want to talk about, this is one of the things that I love about crochet. It is super flexible, okay? So because if you don't know yet, hi, my name's May. I love yarn. I love to knit and crochet. And yes, I am visually impaired, colorblind since birth. And I knit and crochet by feel, okay? So, when she got past the color of the half double crochets, you do like an increase row there where you do 2 double crochets in every half double crochet for 9 stitches. And then on the 10th stitch, you do 3. And that's what makes the ruffle and the wave in the brim, right? That gives it that extra little wave by doing that extra increase every 10 stitches. So with 60 stitches on the hat, right, you're doing that every 10th stitch, so you're doing that 6 times around. Well, for me, because I crochet by feel, well, you know what? Sometimes I crochet my same stitch twice. And I don't mean to. Now, of course, we were intending to crochet each stitch twice because we put 2 stitches in every stitch. Well, somehow in my half double crochets, I ended up, instead of with 60, I crocheted some of my stitches twice. I ended up with 63 half double crochets around to work into. Now, you know, I could have frogged, right? I could have ripped it. I could have ripped out the whole round and did it again and tried to get to 60 and do mine exactly like hers. And on some garments, all right, if I'm doing like a fitted sweater or a cardi, that might be a good idea to be precise with my stitches. And of course, it depends on your stitch count, right? I mean, your stitch pattern, right? If you have certain stitch patterns, you're going to have a multiple that works out with your stitch. Well, this one really doesn't. It was just 2 in every stitch for 9 stitches and then 3 on the 10th. And I thought about that 63 stitches. And I do like math, you know, my daddy taught me my multiplication tables when I was in grade school. He would drill me on those at night. That's important. So, you know, if you do any crocheting and knitting, you know you have to have a little basis of math, especially if you're designing. So I knew that 63 was divisible by 9, right? So I just divided that by 9. I got 7. So what I did, instead of frogging and ripping, I just did the 2 double crochets in every stitch for 8 stitches, right? And then on the 9th, I did the 3 double crochets. That's all. So I just added that extra increase, that extra ruffle 7 times instead of 6. And this is what I get. And I like it just fine. So I just want to put that out there. If you're new to crochet and you struggle with maintaining your stitch count, right? Or you're visually impaired like me and you crochet by feel and you sometimes fumble and you sometimes get your stitch count wrong, that's definitely something to keep in mind. And like I said, obviously if it's a fancy stitch with an odd multiple, you might or might not be able to do that. But certainly consider it. I didn't mind doing it that way. And that is the beauty of crochet. It is so flexible. And then of course the other mod I did do a few modifications at the end of her hat. I believe she just did single crochet. Now I have learned from doing this granny stitch bucket hat that I have on, I did what's called the crab stitch on that, which is where you go backwards, right? And I just love that. Oh, I got messy hair from taking that up. I just love that crab stitch on the edge of bucket hats. I think it just gives it such a fun final touch, final finish. So that's what I chose to do with this one as well. I gave it a crab stitch on the brim. So here we go. I'm gonna put it on. What do you think? I just love this hat. I think it is so cute. It might be my new favorite crochet bucket hat. Claire did a great job on this tutorial. Okay, if you are visually impaired and you struggle to see your screen like I do, even when it's zoomed in, she will walk you through this. Okay, she will, step by step. She'll talk you through it. So highly recommend the pattern. I'm gonna try to link it up. I am loving this hat. I will be wearing it this summer for sure. Alrighty, well that's the end of the video. Hopefully it's a little bit shorter. We'll see if we can upload this one today. Who knows? Who knows? Alrighty. Well, I just want to say thank you if you're a returning viewer. Thank you so much for choosing to come by, to come back and hang out and spend a little bit of your day with me again. Thank you to all my subscribers, including my new subscribers. And if you are a returning viewer, thanks so much for tuning in. I really hope that you will be back. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to my channel so that you don't miss any of the content. Did you know that subscribing to a YouTube channel is totally free? It won't cost you anything. So that way you'll get to see more updates, more fun projects. Okay. Well, I think that's all for today. I really hope that if you're indeed watching this for Finish It Friday, I'm just wishing you the best weekend. And of course, no matter when you're watching this, you could be watching this next Tuesday, right? Have a great day. And you know what I always like to end with? That creativity is for everybody. Whether you see or you see like me, which is not in color, not in the day, not so much, or you don't see at all. Creativity is for you. And whether it's knitting or crocheting or sewing or quilting or beading or sculpting or painting or whatever it is that you do, today is a great day to craft and create. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye for now. Have a great day.
Pause.